The story of the great tournament. No one is the best in the kingdom of Valoria, where excellence was the highest virtue. There was a legendary event held every decade, the great tournament. The tournament was a grand spectacle, attracting the finest warriors, scholars, and artisans from across the land, all vying for the title of the best in their field. The tournament was said to crown the most skilled, the strongest, the smartest, and the most creative, and whoever won would be celebrated for years as the greatest in all of Valoria. The kingdom had long thrived on competition, and every child grew up dreaming of entering the great tournament. But among them, 3 young friends, Lauren, Cale, and Mira, were determined to prove that one of them would be crowned the best. Lauren was the strongest warrior in the land, with muscles like iron and the speed of a wild stallion. He could wield a sword like no other, his strikes precise and powerful. Everywhere he went, people whispered about his inevitable victory in the combat trials. Cale was a brilliant scholar, known for his quick wit and unmatched intelligence. He had read every book in the royal library, could solve the most complex riddles in a heartbeat, and had mastered languages, mathematics, and philosophy. In the academic trials, no one thought anyone could rival Cale. Mira was an artist whose skill with a brush and chisel could make stone seem to breathe. Her sculptures were so lifelike that they often startled those who saw them, and her paintings were said to capture not only the physical world, but the soul itself. She was a favorite to win the creative trials. The 3 friends, though close, carried the same secret ambition in their hearts, to prove that they were the best, not only in their own field, but in the kingdom. Each believed that they had something special that no one else could match. They entered the great tournament with confidence and excitement. As the tournament began, the excitement in Valoria was palpable. Thousands gathered in the grand arena to witness the best of the best compete. The first day was the combat trials. Lauren fought with unparalleled strength and skill, defeating every opponent with ease. By the end of the day, he stood at the top, crowned the greatest warrior in the land. "None can match me," Lauren boasted to Cale and Mira. "I am the best, at least in battle." The next day was the academic trials, and as expected, Cale breezed through every puzzle, every riddle, and every test of intellect. His mind was sharp, and no one could keep up with his speed and logic. At the end of the day, Kyle was declared the smartest and most learned in all of Valoria. "It seems I am the best after all," Kyle said with a smirk. "In knowledge, at least." On the 3rd day, the creative trials began, and Mira dazzled the crowd with her art. Her sculpture of a winged horse seemed ready to leap into the sky, and her painting of a sunset brought tears to the eyes of those who gazed upon it. By the end of the day, Mira was named the most gifted artist in the land. "I suppose we all have our own areas of greatness," Mira said, "but in beauty, I am unmatched." The 3 friends stood triumphant, each at the top of their own field, each feeling a quiet satisfaction that they had achieved their goal. But something unexpected happened that night. As the crowd dispersed and the arena grew quiet, the king of Valoria summoned the 3 to his palace. He had watched the entire tournament, and while he was impressed with their victories, his expression was somber as he welcomed them into the throne room. "You have each proven yourselves to be the best in your own way," the king began, "but tell me, do you truly believe you are the best overall?" Lauren, Cale, and Mira exchanged glances, unsure how to respond. Each had been so focused on their own triumphs that they hadn't thought beyond them. The king rose from his throne and led them to the royal garden, where an ancient oak tree stood, its branches stretching wide, its roots deep in the earth. "This tree has stood here for centuries," the king said. "It is the tallest, the oldest, and perhaps the strongest in the kingdom. But is it the best? It cannot move like a river, it cannot sing like the birds, and it cannot change like the seasons." The three friends stared at the tree, understanding dawning on them. Being the best in one thing does not make you the best overall, the king continued. Lauren, you may be the best warrior, but strength alone cannot solve all problems. Kale, your mind is sharp, but knowledge without wisdom can be dangerous. Mira, your art is beautiful, but beauty alone cannot feed the hungry or defend the weak. The friends stood in silence, realizing the truth of the king's words. You have each proven yourselves remarkable, but no one is the best at everything. Life is not about being the greatest in all things. It's about understanding your strengths of many